You're watching Seattle Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones, your fearless leader, here with you. Thanks for joining us. On today's show, Mel Kiper Jr., along with Field Yates, they have a brand new 3-round mock draft for every team in the National Football League, including the Seattle Seahawks. What we're going to do is we're going to show you Mel and Field's picks for the Seahawks and their analysis. And then I'll give my thoughts to the selections they made for Seattle. We'll bring that to you coming up in a matter of moments. Before we do, the 49ers report, hosted by our friend, but he is a fraud, and Bill Pollock knows what I'm about to say here. I would betray him if I needed to. They said we couldn't get 1,000 comments on today's video. I want to prove Chase Sr. wrong and make it happen. So the 49ers report, they just got 1,000 comments the other day. Let's stick it to them. Spam S in the comments section. I want to see as many S's as we can. And if we get 1,000 comments with the S's in there, I'll give a shout-out on a later edition of Seahawks Today. Make it happen. Spam S, and we'll continue here on Seahawks Today. So Mel Kiper Jr. and Field Yates did this mock draft, and I don't know how it happened, to be honest, but Mel ended up actually making all the picks for Seattle and not Field Yates. So all you're going to hear from is Mel, not Field. Field did a mock draft for Seattle a couple of weeks ago. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and get started right away with the 18th overall pick of the 2025 NFL Draft. The Seattle Seahawks select Grey Zabel, North Dakota State offensive lineman. Let's see what the great Mel Kiper Jr. and the pumpkin pie eating for breakfast man had to say about the pick. It may seem early for an FCS interior offensive lineman, but Zabel proved at the Senior Bowl that he absolutely belongs in this conversation. The Seahawks' issues with inside protection are clear, and Zabel has the footwork, technique, and power to instantly improve things there. And his versatility means Seattle could move him wherever he's needed. Now, are there more exciting picks out there than Grey Zabel? I mean, unless you're a diehard that's been following the draft like your fearless leader, you probably honestly don't know who Grey Zabel is, and that's okay. Sure, there are probably more exciting picks out there. But with Grey Zabel, I don't know. Is he a guard? Is he a tackle? Hell, is he a center, for crying out loud? I don't know, to be honest with you. But I'll find a place for him one way or the other. He is going to be in that starting five of the offensive line in some spot. We will find a place for him, and that's what makes this a good pick, is the versatility. More on Grey Zabel. Played for North Dakota State. Fargo. There's a girl I went out with that used to live in Fargo. He was there from 2020 to 2014. Two-time FCS national champion in 2021 and in 2024. He was a first-team FCS All-American and a first-team Missouri Valley Football Conference selection in 2024. His grades were off the charts. They were fantastic. Granted, the competition he faced wasn't great, but still, a 90.4 overall grade. I don't care if you're playing the NAIA. That's impressive. Pass block rate of 93.1. Run block rate of 86.5. Only allowed 1 sack. Got called for 7 penalties. His stats, taking it a step further from the nerds at Pro Football Focus, only gave up 2 hits, 4 hurries, and 7 penalties. The scouting report as follows on Grey Zabel. Impressive mobility and pad level. He moves laterally to get rushers. He is firm and has a stiff punch. Different term when it comes to firm, if you know what I mean. He works hips through contact, and he has below average arm length. And that's why some people think that he could potentially play a different position outside of the tackle spot. So, what do you think about Grey Zabel? Should the Seahawks draft him? Type D for draft, P for pass. It's our pinned comment today. You might get an ad break. Take advantage of it, as Tom Downey would say. And let us know which way you lean towards. D for draft, B for pass when it comes to Grey Zabel there. Next up, let's go to Arizona offensive lineman Bech Jonah at 50 to the Seattle Seahawks. And you may be wondering, what does he bring to the table? Well, let's tell you more about what Mel Kiper Jr. had to say about this selection for the Seattle Seahawks here with this pick. I know we gave Seattle an offensive lineman in round one, Grey Zabel, but GM John Schneider will likely hammer that position in the draft. He, along with Zabel, would give the Seahawks two strong and reliable blockers who could play any position. Now, back-to-back offensive line picks. That would be quite the statement from John Schneider on getting this offensive line right. A lot of y'all, and understandably so, have been in on John's ass over the last several weeks with the lack thereof of offensive line signings and free agency, and then all these rumblings that we've heard about the wide receiver position potentially getting selected, and you use your first two picks on the offensive line, that would send quite a statement. Let's tell you more about Bech Jonah. Played for Arizona, and, this guy was just a big fish. That's what he was. He was just swallowing up all the defenders there at Arizona from 2022 to 2024. An all Big 12 honorable mention in 2024. An all Pac-12 RIP honorable mention in 2023. Did it in two different conferences. His grades last year, overall grade of 75.9. Pass block grade, outstanding, 82.7. Run block grade, could use some work, 64.2. Allowed 4 sacks and 1 penalty. Taking it a step further, gave up 2 hits, 9 hurries, 1 penalty. I can live with that. Now, the scouting report goes as follows. He's got a wide-bodied frame. He's big. Solid initial bursts out of the stance, which you can't say about everybody. He can steal leverage. The defender thinks he's got the moves like Jagger, and then Bech Jonah shows up and says, no, you don't. He's got good spatial awareness, and he's got below-average recovery skills. So when the defender does end up showing the moves like Jagger, then he's like, oh, no, what do I do? Oh, no, what do I do? He's got to figure it out. But nonetheless, I think he's a good prospect for the second round. What do you think about drafting Bech Jonah? Y for yes, N for no. Chime in the comments section. Tell me what you think. We will be live for the 2025 NFL Draft right here on Seattle Seahawks Today, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. If I got to be here, that means you got to be here. All right? Does that sound like a deal? Subscribe now. Let's get 20 subs off today's video. Let's make sure we're all here. We're partying and enjoying the draft together right here on Seahawks Today. Subscribe now for free. YouTube.com/Seahawks TV. We'll see you next week. Let's go to 52 now. The second round pick of Seattle. This is where we find Texas Christian University, a wide receiver, Jack Bech, at 52 overall to the Seahawks. Here is Mel on the selection. Seattle has already started rebuilding the wide receiver room after moving on from DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, but the roster is slot heavy with Jackson Smith and Jigba and Cooper Kupp right now. Bech can play outside, was great at the Senior Bowl, and caught 9 touchdowns last season. Now, I'm going to be real with y'all. We tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. When you think wide receiver, we think short, scrawny, speed guys, typically. I'm just being honest, all right? Don't hate me on that. I'm just being real with y'all. He is not your typical wide receiver. He's got a good track record of being tough and reliable as a pass catcher. Who was the last big, tough wide receiver you could think of? They don't come around too often. Jack Bech, he's one of a kind. And I know a lot of people are talking about his teammate, Savion Williams. who is a pretty intriguing prospect in his own right. But Jack Bech was a lot more productive than Savion Williams was at TCU. And I think Jack Bech, one of the reasons I like this pick from Mel here is he, I think, has the track record, more production, and also is a better fit for what Seattle is looking for. Second team All Big 12 in 2024. He was the MVP of the Senior Citizen Bowl in 2025. And here's what we're talking about, the production last year. 62 catches, over 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns. Oh, and how about this? Only 1 drop. Just 1. That's great. That is great. His scouting report goes as follows. Strong and dependable hands. All right? I wouldn't want to shake his hand. He might break my hand. He is a good route runner. He is a ball winner. Pause. Short area quickness. He lacks ideal explosiveness, however. So, who's a player the Seahawks should draft? We've gone over a couple that Mel has selected for us. Who comes to mind for you? Wait in the comments section. Let us know who you'd like to see end up in Seattle. Today's show is sponsored by our friends at GameTime. GameTime is the place to go for the best seats, the lowest prices guaranteed. Whether you're looking for tickets to sporting events, concerts, theater productions, comedy shows, and more. GameTime makes tickets faster and easier to get, even for hard-to-get playoff seats. Prices on the GameTime app actually go down the closer it gets to tip-off. With killer last-minute deals, all in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, GameTime takes the guesswork out of buying NBA playoff tickets. I'm going to be headed to some NBA playoff games here soon. I don't want to make y'all mad at me, so I won't tell you what team I am going to go see in the NBA playoffs. But I'm going to have a great time. And maybe you can't make it to an NBA playoff game. You're in luck because GameTime's got tickets for all sorts of events in Seattle. You choose the event you want to go to, like, let's say, the Mariners. And they got the prices listed. Choose your seat just like that. You're checking out on GameTime with Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, all major credit card providers. GameTime is the official ticket partner of Seattle Seahawks today, where they offer last-minute deals where you can save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy shows, theater productions, and more. GameTime Picks makes last-minute ticket buying easier than ever by quickly highlighting the best deals in the stadium. They have their zone deals where you can save more when you choose a section. Let GameTime choose the seats. They have their all-in pricing. Toggling this feature shows the total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. They have their seat views where you can get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy. The lowest price is guaranteed, or GameTime will credit you 110% of the difference. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download the GameTime app and use that promo code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. GameTime, proud partner of Seattle Seahawks today. Link is in the comments and description of today's video. Couple more picks for you. Mel has Seattle going with Florida State defensive tackle Joshua Farmer at 82 overall. We're getting a Farmer with this pick. Let's find out more about the Farmer. Farmer is disruptive, and he'd give the Seahawks more depth on the inside. He had 9 sacks over the past 2 seasons. And he is thick. Not T-H-I-C-C. I wasn't looking at that area. No. He's T-H-I-C-K thick. The thick you want in a good football player. He's bringing that to the table. And there's production to show for it, too, with the thickness. 32 tackles, 8 TFLs, 4 sacks this past year, 26 pressures the year prior. 32 tackles, 7 TFLs, 5 sacks, 20 pressures, and a forced fumble to go along with that. And then the final pick from Mel Kiper Jr. is Cal corner Nohl Williams at 92 overall to the Seahawks. More from Mel. He writes this. Seahawks have Reek Wallen outside and Devin Witherspoon in the slot, but the other corner spot could use a boost, and if nothing else, more depth. With great instincts and press coverage traits, Williams led the nation with 7 interceptions last season. Elite ball production. And what you would hope is that easily translates to the next level. And this is what I mean. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 interceptions in 2024, along with 17 pass breakups, 52 tackles, 1 TFL, 1 forced fumble. That's pretty good. And then I take a step further look at the coverage stats. QB rating allowed was only a 40.9. Woo! Woo! I'm excited. And I'm getting this guy in round 3. CC, I'm very intrigued. I like this pick. You did good, Mel. You did good. So, how would you grade Kiper and Yates' ESPN Mock Draft? A, B, C, D, or F? I'll give you my grade in a moment. I want to hear from you guys first. Give me your grade in the comments section below. So to recap, here is how Mel Kiper did since Field Yates felt like he was too good to make the Seahawks picks. Grey Zabel at 18. Big Jonah, the fish, at 50. Jack Bech, who is very athletic for a white receiver, at 52. Joshua Farmer, the farmer, at 82. And then we got Nohl Williams, one of the most productive corners in college football, at 92. I look at this, I see substance and not flash. And honestly, that's okay. I'm satisfied. I am very pleased. If this is what ends up being the first 3 rounds, sounds great to me. I'll give it an A-. It's not perfect, but it's very good. It's very good. Let's run through the rest of the picks of what Mel and Field did for around the NFL. Tennessee at 1 goes Cam Ward. Travis Hunter goes to Cleveland at 2. Abdul Carter goes to the Giants at 3. Will Campbell goes to the Patriots at 4. Mason Graham to the Jags at 5. And then at 6, Ashton Genty. 7, the Jets go Armand Mimbo. At 8, the Panthers go with Jalen Walker. 9, Shedeur Sanders falls all the way to 9 for Shedorlands. Then at 10, Tyler Warren to the Bears. The Bears. Then at 11, San Francisco goes Kelvin Banks. 12, Dallas goes Matthew Golden. Back-to-back Longhorns. 13, Will Johnson goes to the Miami Dolphins. 14, the Colts go Colston Loveland. 15, Mike Green, the edge rusher from Marshall, goes to Atlanta. 16, Barron, another Longhorn, to the Arizona Cardinals. Going to the enemy, though. 17, Walter Nolan goes to the Bengals, the defensive tackle from Mississippi. Seahawks pick at 18, Grey Zabel. Then at 19, Tampa Bay goes with Nick Emanwari. 20, Omarion Hampton, the running back from North Carolina, goes to the Broncos. 21, Derek Harmon to the Steelers. 22, Emeka Ibuka to the Chargers. 23, the Packers go with Shamar Stewart. 24, Donovan Jackson to Minnesota. Then at 25, T-Mac, wide receiver from Arizona, goes to the Texans. The Rams, they go corner with Maxwell Harrison. Some people have a second-round grade on him. Might be a reach for Sneed Boy. Then at 27, Starks goes to the Ravens. 28, Mikael Williams goes to Detroit. 29, a trade. Browns jump in to the Commander's spot. They take Jackson Dart, quarterback from Ole Miss. Then, staying in Oxford, we go Trey Amos, the corner from Ole Miss, to Buffalo. Chiefs go with Josh Connerly Jr. And then Jahad Campbell, linebacker from Bama, at 32 to round off the mock draft. If you made it to the end of today's video, that means you're a real one. Spam 12 in the comments section. I want to hear from all the 12s. Appreciate y'all. I am your fearless leader, Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us here on this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today. A lot of fun. Always talking Seahawks football. We'll see you next time.